You swear the witness, please, Madam Court Reporter?
Before we proceed, I will ask counsel to agree on the record that under the current national emergency pursuant to Section 319 of the Public Health Service Act, there was no objection to this deposition officer administer any binding oath to the witness by video conference. Please state your agreement on the record.
James Potts, no objection.
Mike Rossetti, no objection.
Matthew Gettinger, no objection.
Sir, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Pendley, would you state and spell your full name, please?
It's Kenneth, that's Kenneth, and Pendley, Pendley.
Yes, sir. Do you have a middle name?
Dewayne, Dewayne.
Stewart?
Floyd,
Floyd.
yeah, Floyd.
And you're employed at Trimac?
I am.
And you're at the Atlanta,
Yes.
what do you call it? Location,
That is the Atlanta branch.
Atlanta branch. And your role at the Atlanta branch is what?
Currently, right now, I'm the shop manager.
Shop manager. And as a shop manager, your responsibilities also include the wash rock?
Correct.
You oversee the work at the wash rock
Yes.
in addition to the shop.
Yes.
And how long have you been at Trimac's Atlanta branch?
I've been here since 2014.
All right. And then have you worked with Demetrius Phillips there?
I did. At the time, I was a shop foreman.
Right. And Demetrius Phillips worked at the wash rack at the Atlanta branch of Trimac.
Yes.
And that's since you've been there in 2014, Demetrius worked there intermittently as well as at the Fairburn branch.
Yes.
Do you know Demetrius Phillips?
I do.
You consider him to be truthful?
Yes.
Do you know Clarence Glenn?
No, I don't.
All right. Did you ever meet Clarence Glenn?
No.
Or you're aware that Demetrius Phillips became sick?
Yes.
Have you had any contact with him since he left the employment of Trimac?
No.
Have you had any conversations with anyone other than your lawyers about Demetrius Phillips
No.
or about this case?
No, I spoke with my wife last night, let her know that I was doing a deposition. That's about it. You know, it wasn't just, hey, you won't be able to reach me. So
Right. And did you bring any documents with you here today?
I did not.
Did you review any documents in preparation for your deposition here today?
No, we haven't.
All right.
We're just reviewed our couple plans that we have, but nothing, no documents.
Reviewed, say again, please.
I reviewed my PMP plan.
Okay. And by PNP, you mean what?
That stands for pollution management plan.
Have you read any other depositions?
I have not.
All right. Were you aware that we went over the PMP plan and some other depositions?
No, I haven't.
Were you aware that I asked some of your colleagues, Trimac colleagues, about that PMP and other depositions? I couldn't hear you.
No,
All right. Now, you replaced Travis Short, is that right?
no, I did not. Travis Short was, he was our lead wash technician.
All right. So the role you're in now, Travis Short would have worked, he would have answered to you.
Correct.
You would have been his immediate supervisor if he were still there.
Yes.
And do you know why Travis Short left Trimac?
He left for better employment, from my understanding.
All right. And where did he go?
I think last I heard, he went to become a sheriff.
And before you became the shop manager at the Atlanta branch of Trimac in 2014, how were you employed?
I worked for an outfit in Cartersville, Georgia, called Paragon Trailer Service Center.
Yes, sir.
Similar setup without a wash rack. So basically, the same atmosphere, different location.
All right. And what brought you to Trimac, the Atlanta branch?
Actually, the work environment, the better working environment. You know, the people here. I've been here 8 years, and everybody's been great. So for me, it was a better environment than what I was in.
Yes, sir. And do you know Brian Bowen?
Yes, I know vaguely of Brian Bowman. He worked shortly with us for a little bit.
Right. You worked with him for a short while. You worked with Demetrius for quite some time, right?
Yes,
And you know Demetrius to be a hard worker,
yes,
industrious.
Yeah.
He showed up for work
yes,
on time.
Yep.
Worked hard,
yes,
stayed till late,
yes,
and he would occasionally come in at night or on weekends when the need arose.
yes.
And all of that was both at the Atlanta and the Fairburn branches. True?
The Atlanta mainly is the only one that I can answer to because I don't know about Fairburn.
Yes, sir. And you're aware that he did that at the Atlanta branch of Trimac?
Yes, he when he would come in, he would mainly do steaming.
Yes, sir. And that's since at least 2014.
Yes,
And Demetrius worked in the wash rack there at the Atlanta branch,
yes,
cleaning truck tanks.
yes.
Did he also clean rail cars there at the Atlanta branch?
No,
What about totes at the Atlanta branch?
no.
And are you aware of the chemicals that were cleaned there at the Atlanta branch in the wash rack?
Some I'm aware of. Mr. Phillips was mainly the go-to guy when it came to cleaning. So when we was here, he was more or less, he was the go-to guy with, can we clean this or can we not?
Yes, sir. Do you recall that the wash rack there in Atlanta cleaned truck tanks that last contained acrylate?
I don't know.
What about ammonia,
That I don't
benzene,
know. No, I know that. No,
DETA, DETA?
not that I know of.
All right. Formaldehyde,
Not that I know
MDI,
of. No,
MEA,
no,
MEK?
not that I know of.
All right. Naphtha?
Not that I know of.
What about peroxide,
No,
styrene?
I don't know.
All right. Sulfuric acid?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yes, sir. TDI,
No,
Colleen,
I don't know.
all right. Xylene,
That doesn't come to mind. I said, I
All right.
don't know.
tell me what chemicals that the truck tanks last contained that you're aware of that were cleaned at the wash rack there at the Atlanta branch.
Mainly for the Atlanta branch, it's a smaller branch. We clean a lot of the Dow polys. I think it's
Dow products.
Yeah, it's a poly. It's a non-haz poly product.
Can you mind spelling that? I thought you said Dow products, but I
No,
might have
it's
missed that.
Dow. It is a Dow product, but it's a poly, like POLY. I don't know the exact name of it. I could.
Yes, sir.
But it's a non-haz poly.
Okay. By non-haz, you mean non-hazardous? Is that right?
Correct.
And the documents, when before a truck tank is cleaned, you would have to have a bill of lading and a shipping manifest. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you would have a wash ticket.
Yes, the wash ticket would actually come last after it's been completed.
Yes, sir. And then when someone like Demetrius or one of his wash rack colleagues went into the truck tank, it would also be what's called a tank entry permit.
Correct, yes.
And all those documents would have been maintained, kept,
Yes.
and they would have been kept till, well, at least since you've been there, 2014. Is that right?
Correct.
And bill of ladings too. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as Exhibit 1 to your deposition. I'm also going to share this with you in the chat so that you've got a copy of it handy if you want to open it up. So we'll mark as Exhibit 1. This is a 2012-21 Atlanta OSHA violations, final 21-7-14. Do you recall OSHA coming out in December of last year?
Yes.
And OSHA was there from the 18th until the 20th of December of 2020.
Yes.
They were doing an inspection. Is that right?
Yes.
And they issued a final report. I believe that was last month. Is that right?
I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm sure my safety department received it.
Yes, sir. And who's in charge of your safety department?
Mr. Derek Chastain, and I believe it's Lance Hagler.
You say that again, please.
Lance Hagler,
Can you spell it?
Hangler.
Okay. And you're aware that there were a number of serious violations, is that right?
Yes.
And that Trimac paid fines for those serious violations?
That I don't know.
Okay. Well, Exhibit 1, have you seen this document before?
No.
All right. This is an OSHA standards enforcement with inspection detail for Trimac Transportation, Inc. And that's your branch, Trimac Transportation, Inc., located at 605 Seelig Drive. Is that right?
Yes.
Atlanta, Georgia, 30336.
Yeah, that's what I see here.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I see you have there. That's it.
Well, that's your address of the Trimac Atlanta branch, right?
Yes.
And according to OSHA's inspection in December, when you were there, they found a number of violations.
Yes.
And the violations, some were listed as serious.
Yes.
And the first violation, do you see this standard cited 191000134 EO1 respiratory protection? Can you see that?
Yes, I see it.
And we're on page 2 of 4 of Exhibit 1. And is it your understanding that Trimac paid a fine, was penalized over $5,000 for a respiratory protection violation?
That I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's handled by the safety department.
All right. And they also paid a fine for medical services and first aid violations of OSHA regulations. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Also paid a fine for OSHA violations regarding portable fire extinguishers.
Yes.
And you agree that OSHA those are federal regulations? Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Yeah, and you agree it's important to follow those?
Yes.
I mean, you want your Trimac colleagues, especially those that report to you, to be safe,
Yes.
especially someone like Demetrius Phillips, who comes to work, works hard, and did so for you for a number of years. I mean, the last thing you would want to see is him be unnecessarily injured or get sick because of an OSHA violation. Is that right?
Yeah.
And respirators, do you have respirators there for people like Demetrius Phillips that go into truck tanks?
Yes, but they didn't really go into a whole lot of tanks in the wash rack here.
Okay.
Products.
When Demetrius Phillips was there, did he go into truck tanks there at the Atlanta branch?
Yes.
And did Demetrius Phillips have a respirator to wear when he went into the truck tanks?
I don't know.
All right. Did you ever see Demetrius Phillips put on a respirator to go into a truck tank there in Atlanta?
No.
All right. And if you had respirators, you would have receipts for those respirators. Is that right? You'd have to buy them from somewhere.
Yes.
I mean, Trimac is not in the business of making respirators, to your knowledge, right? And if you'd bought any, you would still have receipts for those. Is that right?
Yes, the company would.
All right. I'm going to show you what we'll mark as Exhibit 2 to your deposition. And this is These are similar violations for Fairburn. Have you ever been over to the Trimac Transportation, Inc. at 6800 McLaren Road in Fairburn, Georgia?
Yes,
And you call that the Fairburn branch, is that right?
it is.
And were you at the Fairburn branch when they were also being investigated by OSHA in December last year?
Objective form, can answer.
You may answer.
No,
All right. Were you aware that the Fairburn Trimac branch was also cited for violating federal OSHA regulations regarding, if you can see here at page 2 of 11, respiratory protection?
yes,
Also, 191001334F01, a second violation from that same inspection, also for respiratory protection.
yes, that's what I'm being shown.
Yes, sir. As well as for medical services and first aid.
Correct.
We'll mark that as Exhibit 2 to your deposition. Do you know what a hazardous chemical e-manifest report is?
Yes, I have seen.
Yes, sir. And what is that?
It's a manifest, it's a tracking document, from my knowledge, that tracks any hazardous chemical.
Yes, sir. And are you aware of federal and state regulations regarding shipping large quantities of hazardous waste and hazardous chemicals?
I don't know it to the T, but I know, I don't know word to word.
Do you know whether the Trimac Atlanta branch classified as itself as a large or a small waste generator?
It is a small waste generator.
All right. And who made that determination?
I would think that that's our, environmental person.
And who is that person?
I think that is Miss Stephanie Rogers.
All right. And she would know more about that. That's your understanding?
Yes, she's, yes.
Are you aware of anyone other than Demetrius Phillips and Clarence Glenn, or anyone else that you worked with that worked in the wash rack getting sick?
An objective form, you can
May I
answer.
answer? Oh, excuse me.
No, I do not.
Or developing any sort of diseases like cancer, anything like that?
No.
All right. Give me just one moment. I think that's all I have, but I need to confer with someone here. Be right back. A couple follow-up questions. What changes are you aware of that were made after OSHA made the serious violation findings?
Object to form, you can answer.
The changes that we did were the certain employees trained for the respirator. Really, that's the only other major ones that I seen. The fire extinguisher one was the missing a sign.
So you got respirators, and employees were trained on the use of those respirators.
Going to object to form.
Is that right?
Certain employees,
Yeah, including wash rack employees.
if they were trained properly, yes.
Yeah. Any other changes that you recall? Fire extinguisher, I got that. You mentioned that. Anything else?
There was a eye wash station that was not in direct line of contact.
Say that again, please.
There was a eye wash station that was not in direct line. So we added an extra one in that area.
You said eye wash for like
Yeah,
chemical exposure?
Eye
All right,
wash station.
got it. And you mentioned the safety department and you mentioned Stephanie Rogers. Where is the safety department?
The safety department is housed in Houston,
Is where?
Houston,
Houston.
Texas.
Is Stephanie Rogers, is she employed in Houston or Atlanta?
Actually, Fairburn,
Okay, she's at the Fairburn branch.
correct.
And is there a safety office there that you're aware of?
I don't know. I haven't been there and down there enough.
Yes, sir. Have you ever been to Stephanie Rogers' office?
Yes, I
All
have.
right. And that's, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's at the Fairburn location?
Yes.
All right. And who's in that safety department with Stephanie Rogers, other than Stephanie Rogers?
There's a guy there for our trainer. He's a just general safety trainer.
And what's his name?
Mr. Greg Robinson.
All right. And who was in that office with Stephanie Rogers before Greg Robinson?
I think there's a Carlin Bartholow in that office as well.
Yeah. Is he still there?
That I know of. He may be working remotely.
And you mentioned the eye wash. Is there an emergency shower there?
Yes.
All right. And how long has that been there?
Since we opened the shop here.
Sir?
Since the shop is open.
Okay. Do you have a stormwater permit at the Atlanta branch?
Do what now? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. Do you have a stormwater permit?
I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Mr. Pendley, that's all I have.